welcome to Shine Bright Homeschool. Thanks for tuning in. Today we are looking into Elements of Faith. I'm going to give you a look inside this book. A lot of people use this for a junior high science book. I'm going to link it in the description below. It is from MasterBooks. We are actually using it for Bible, believe it or not. I had the inspiration of an introduction to chemistry that we would actually start focusing on the periodic table elements in connection to faith. So I thought this would be a great kind of daily Bible lesson just to get us talking and to thinking how God has a purpose in every element of the periodic table and how it maybe connects to our existence here on earth and connection to our faith in God. So this is the periodic table of contents that are studied in this book. It starts with hydrogen. As you can see which ones it goes through here. I'm not going to name them all because there are a lot, but it goes through, each and every one. And here it kind of gives you a continued list on the next page of all the different elements. Then it has a section for experiments if you want to add those into your studies. Also some quizzes and a final exam. Now, the answer keys are in the back of the book, so if you wanted to pull those out as the teacher, you could. More designed for grades 7th to 9th. So here it gives, as you can see, the weeks and the lessons and the days and the assignments for every day. Very typical of MasterBooks and how they do their scheduling of the semesters. And so this is your first lesson, hydrogen. Talks about forming water. It gives a Bible verse. Talks about some main facts about hydrogen, and then it goes down and gives you all the different information about hydrogen. My son already started working on this for our first week of school, but it gives you the connection biblically here where water is referenced and how it's used in the Bible for different things, and then it gives you a little questionnaire on the side, and then it gives a prayer at the bottom. And so again it moves to helium in the next lesson, and lithium, beryllium, and so this really gives you an insight to how it's set up. It really isn't different from lesson to lesson. They kind of stick to the same setup for every lesson. There's just obviously a different element that you're studying. So I really wanted to use this again as a foundation for getting my son and I both more up to, being familiar with the names. Obviously some of these we use day to day, so we know what some of these are already. If bringing a religious viewpoint into the periodic table is not something that you want to do, then this book probably is definitely not for you. Although it does give a lot of scientific, information about the elements, it does tie in everything to a spiritual Christian perspective. So you just want to keep that in mind. That way you're not thinking that you're getting just a science book. And I think it's made really well how they integrate, you know, the spiritual aspect into it, because for those of us who do want that as part of education and teaching as the teachers, it's really integrated really well. So this is the experiments. They're pretty basic. Definitely not high school chemistry level labs, so you do not want to use this for probably the labs for high school if you did decide to do this for 9th grade. One thing I would clarify is if you are part of a homeschool association, or you do have to have certain requirements for sciences for high school, you want to make sure that you're meeting those requirements. This may not be something that really is going to be counted as a high school credit, so just keep that in mind. And then there's the quizzes. I took a couple out already, but it is very basic MasterBooks style. And there is a quiz for every 3 elements. And then in the back you have your final exam. And then in the back you have your final exam. And then your worksheet answers, your quiz and final exam answers. And then your glossary as well. And your index. And there's a supply list if you also are just wanting to make sure you get everything at one time. That way you know for each experiment what you need. And in the very back is the whole periodic table. All right, that is it for Elements of Faith. Thanks for tuning in today. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time here at Shine Bright Homeschool.